All right, everything is checked out. Hello, everyone. This is Greyshot 117, and to my left is
Pokemon playing 151.
we are going over the Jungle Book today in this review reaction type thing. Originally, we recorded it. It was an issue when we both were at the same time. So for future occasions, we're gonna just do it like this, where I'm at my screen, he's at his, and yeah, you can obviously see who has the better equipment.
I take offense to that. This cost me a whole $5 at a back alley by a guy named Bob. He said this was the best camera money could buy.
Right. So speaking about the best things money can buy, Disney spent a lot of money on this movie because of Cinderella, Maleficent being big, successful adventures for them, and they were hoping Jungle Book would be the same way, but
Turns out
wow,
they were wrong.
no, well, yeah, it turns out this movie is top notch. Like this is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. It's something that I can't really say there was a moment that was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
It just was it was a really good movie.
Yeah,
Like that's the thing that was definitely the stark of this film.
better
It
than
def
Batman vs Superman. I will
Oh
keep
my god,
saying
by
it.
far. By far. By far. Every movie this year has been better.
Oh, your ringtone. But no, let's get to it. So right off the bat, we saw this film in IMAX 3D, and
Yep.
we it is kind of dark, but overall the effects and everything was really good. Um, Now, if we continue, the thing I will say about this film is there's only one main character, so it's like you better like that main character, and
Oh, and he's likable. He's a likable
yeah,
character.
the guy Mowgli, is that's the character's
It's
name.
a, it, it's
Orphan boy.
actually Mogul.
Oh God. Anyway, so he starts off, and of course, he is raised by wolves, which I'm unsure why the wolves wouldn't eat him. But he's found by a panther, played by Ben Kingsley, and then transferred to a bunch of wolves. Uh, One which is played by a Breaking Bad star, Gus, and that's I'm like, oh, I know,
Really? Oh
yeah,
my god! Oh my god! I just placed the voice. But yeah,
yeah. As
Mowgli's
soon as you
interactions with
place
all
that voice, it's like, oh my God. But
yeah, again, all these animals, they're not the design and how they speak is not bad.
yeah,
It's well done, and you actually feel like he's actually talking to actual characters.
yeah.
Mowgli is well acted as well when it comes to his interpretation. No, at no point does it seem like he's just speaking or like
To
he's
a,
being spoken to like a green puppet.
yeah,
It's all very seamless, all very well done. And the shots and the rules that this world sets up is
yeah.
very much set in stone, and there's no I mean, there's some giveaway, but there's not like these animals break them all. There's like a law of the jungle, and they abide
the
by it.
the only animal we thought that again agreed upon between the both of us, I think, was not necessarily a bad performance, but was underused. Was Ka? She's
Yeah, by
played
Scarlett
by
Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. She's only in it for about 5 minutes, if that. And
Yeah,
while she has a very good role at showing Mowgli's past through like manipulation, I find it very intriguing. It's like I wanted to see more, but of course, as soon as she's in, she's out.
was that character in that long in the original? I
Yeah,
really don't remember.
apparently it was a more instrumental character that's routinely in it. Um,
Oh,
so my thing is, anyway, that of course the main star, the highlight of this movie, I thought was Idris Elba as
yeah.
Shao Kahn.
I would agree with that. His interpretation is both
The
terrifying and
Yeah, very
understandable.
smart, but very brutal. And I'm like, all right, you nailed that. But anyway, the reason why apparently the tiger's coming after Mowgli is because, well, Khan is like, well, there was a drought, and all the animals are like, okay, there's a time of peace because water comes first over eating, so they all come to this water hole that's left,
Oh yeah,
and
and by the way, again, like these laws of the jungle is like after the water reaches a certain point, there's immediate truce on all
yep,
sides. That's like okay, I like that.
I do too. And also, like, each of the special effects, like, there's rain, there's mud, there's all sorts of stuff. It looks really good. I mean, most of the set was probably green screen, but
Oh,
it looks really good.
there are certain shots you can definitely tell it was there was a background created, but
Yeah.
overall, yeah, the CGI is well done, and I mean, especially for fire, which is the red
Oh my
flower, the
god.
effects of the jungle burning in one shot when he again this is later in the film, but there's a shot of the jungle burning that just looks that oh my god, it looks fantastic. And
Yes,
again, it really incorporates another one of these laws, which is like the use of fire and how it affects with all these different
I
characters.
I
Who
love yeah, I love the fire because it gave me like a Manhattan Project vibe where like they're trying to vie for control of the super weapon that humans have created, and each of these animals either fear it, want it, or like try to manipulate it. And I loved that aspect of it. And it's like really clever, really clever.
Speaking of manipulation, other characters that are in this, if you don't know, are
Bill Murray. Yep.
Bill Murray as Baloo, I believe.
Yeah, Baloo.
Yeah, fantastic. He nails the character. Like you may think, why, oh, that's he's just acting. Like no, he does a fantastic job with the role. The other note that I thought was maybe a little bit more on the ass side, but still good, was Christopher Walken as the Gigantopithecus, which is King Louie.
Yeah, that by the
Uh,
way, it's not an orangutan, it's a Gigantopithecus because my god, the orangutan does not get that big. Gigantopithecus was about a 12-foot tall ape. So
yeah,
this is like the
and
last
it
of its
and again
kind.
it makes sense in regard to all the other characters because in size of these places, which you have to think people are only like 4 foot tall. Like people don't get to the size that we are at 6 foot. That was like many people think like David and Goliath, like oh this 10 foot guy. It's like no, he was probably like maybe 5 6 foot. He was
Yeah.
just tall. He was just like for us
He
normal.
was my height. It was
Yeah,
like
exactly. So when you see like these characters, like especially Bill Murray, but when you see Baloo and King Louie like side by side, they're actually not too. There's not too much of it. Like yeah, King Louie's bigger, but that's because he's taller, and you can see the mass and the difference, and it works well with the characters. Like each one has their own set of scale. There's nothing like you understand like the dynamics of all these characters.
yeah. Now, I will say one thing about the movie is I couldn't find a necessarily a flaw with the film. I
But at
mean
the same time, you can't really. There's no like
yeah.
you know how it's
It
gonna
does
flow.
everything amazingly or really well, and it never goes above the like a negative like oh my god that was cringeworthy moment. But there's never a moment except for maybe some of the animal fights, which are great, and I'm like oh they're gonna do an animal fight where they're gonna cut away. No, they show animal fighting and it's great.
Oh, it's brutal.
It's
It's
brutal.
really brutal.
And yeah, this film may not be for younger audiences. This film is pretty gruesome in some
My
scenes, or just shock scares like some.
oh
But
yeah. Oh my god, yeah, when like Khan's about to eat Mowgli, it's like,
yeah,
oh wow, okay. And then obviously there's certain things happen, or when
yeah,
the fight scenes between like
the wolves,
the wolves and Shao Kahn, or not Shao Kahn.
Shere
Is
Khan.
yes, I'm thinking of the Mortal Kombat character. Essentially, it's brutal, but it works because when it comes to all these characters, each one have their own personality traits. For
Yeah,
instance, the tiger, he's very smart, he's very calculating, but when he
but
gets mad,
yeah,
it's just everything's done. It's and these characters are not just one dimensional. They work. You understand their reasons. You understand their motives. And yeah, some of them don't have the greatest skin, like Ka, but some of them don't need to be. You can understand the relationships with these characters just by simple actions. For instance, there's some very tense moments just with like the wolves and the tiger later on when it involves they're young, and just the dynamic of showcasing who has the real power here and who
yeah.
doesn't. It's
Another
it's it's perfect.
another instance is each animal is not some super animal that can do its own. They give each animal its own advantage and disadvantage. The bear is very powerful but very slow. The panther is very fast but not very powerful, but it can move faster than most. The
Yes.
tiger is brutal, very powerful, very like again it can
He's
take a
like
lot of hits.
everything
But
basically.
he's one person. He's just
Yeah.
one creature. There's more. The monkeys, there's lots of monkeys, but they're really small, but they get you in numbers.
Yep.
They just highlight each of these animals' strengths and weaknesses really
Which you'd
well.
never think of with monkeys. But
Yeah.
yeah, the other note is like again, like wolves work all these they work interchangeably, and I gotta say, like again, the fight scenes in this movie were again better than Batman v Superman because they actually held my interest. I actually was in my chair like, oh my god, this is actually some good action. Whereas
Yeah.
Batman v Superman, I was literally falling asleep when after at the final
Once
act. So I'll
when
give it
that new
that.
kid, I was pulling out my hair. I'm done.
Yep.
I'm sorry. We have to keep bringing that film up because that's probably my number one disappointed film of the year so far.
Oh, by far,
Yeah.
yeah. We should do that, by the way. Top disappointments.
Oh, I will. I'm absolutely will. That's on a list. But this is on my
Which
list. Probably it's not. I will say this. for me, it was not. It's not better than Deadpool. It's not better than Zootopia, but it's still a really well done film. I'm glad John
It
Favreau.
takes a classic,
Yeah.
brings it to the modern era. By the
Yep.
way, I will note, like, I'll give it this, like, at least it gives like the modern interpretation. This is again, it uses a lead that is not of the norm, which I was again like surprising, and it's doing.
Yeah.
And I understand like they had to get a
Oh
lot of
wow.
celebrities in the background. Probably,
Yeah.
and most likely that's what the compromise was. Like, okay, we have this on, this lead that's not really known, but in the background we're gonna have all these different characters. Like that's why you host Scarlett Johansson as Ka, Idris
Yeah.
Elba, Bill Murray, and Ben Kingsley. By all means, like they deserve their roles. Like
Yeah.
they nail them. Christopher Walken again. I think it was good.
Wait,
It
wait.
wasn't. It wasn't
I will
great.
defend him because let's be honest, he's the only person who probably could sing that song. There are two
Yeah,
songs in this. One is Bill Murray. One is Christopher Walken. And Christopher Walken's the one that's just like, what the heck is going on? But it's Christopher Walken, so you just accept it. But
yeah. It's like yeah, true. He's the only actor that could get away with that. Probably
yeah,
the next one would be Nicolas Cage doing a freak out moment,
yeah.
or who's that guy from Fury? I forget. In Holes, I'm forgetting his name.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he could do a freak out pretty well on if they had to on camera, and everyone would be like, "Yeah, that's just Shia LaBeouf."
But honestly, again, I have no real complaints with this film. I thought it was really well done. Nothing blew my expectations, but it was just consistently really well done. And I feel like that's an accomplishment of your own. It's a problem some movies have, but I would rather have consistency great than high, low, and he keeps doing this, and it's just like,
Yeah,
where are you
very.
going?
Again, it's all down to variability. When a
Yeah,
movie has low variability, as in it's good throughout, like 10 Cloverfield Lane, you can feel it. The tension works, the moments work, and you don't feel these highs and lows in that suck you out of the movie.
yeah,
This movie, it knew how to take you along a story that was both interesting, funny, and threatening. But at
yeah.
the very end, I gotta say, I didn't see the ending coming. Like how the ending
Oh,
wraps
yeah.
up, I thought it would end up one way, and it didn't, and I was actually surprised by that, and I was happy. So I gotta say this: if you're looking for maybe a film to take like a younger brother, I would say don't take anyone that looks younger than the film star. Like
Yeah,
that is the threshold. If your kid is younger than the star, then don't take him. But
yeah.
if you have like a younger like child, or you just want to go with like a girlfriend or something like or the other, I would highly recommend it. This movie has good feels. It has good moments,
Mhm.
and at the end, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it a lot.
That's a good way to wrap it up. But in any case, that's the Jungle Book. Hopefully, who is it? Who's the actor that does Golem? I forget his name.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis has the Jungle Book Origins. I think now Jungle Book coming out in 2 years. It's actually being helped by Alphonse Clouseau, aka the guy that did Gravity. So
That should be. That one's good. Probably gonna look a lot better. The
yeah,
quality, I'm kind of worried about though. But
I yeah
it'll be interesting. But here, next time, guys, you'll probably see us taking Captain America: Civil War. That should be up actually the Friday or the Saturday of
yep
next week or this week.
yep.
Yes.
And also, just letting you guys know, we may do a few others. I'm trying to go see Keanu, because that looks amazing. And I also,
Oh, that cat movie. I gotta say, a lot of people, I wouldn't be surprised, were kind of off to that movie. I was
really,
kind of, yeah. They were like, this movie looks kind of dumb, and I'm just like, it's making fun of Keanu Reeves with a cat with two guys
Keanu
pretending to
Reeves
be
is in the
hipsters.
film.
Oh my god, he is.
I'm not saying how, but
Please
he's
tell
in the.
me Please tell me he plays the hitman he did if he did
I'm not saying
that would
anything.
be the best cameo ever. John Wick. If he plays John Wick in
John
this
Wick
movie, he
2
just
comes out
walks with
this
the
year.
dog.
John Wick 2
True.
comes out this year, I think, and I cannot
True.
wait.
Just have him walking with a dog through, and someone accidentally touch it. Please, that would be the best cameo.
Yep. But in any case, we'll do movies as they come out, and actually, with our new arrangement that might be coming up, will probably be a lot easier to do so.
Yep.
But in any case, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.
And
And
we'll see you next time.
you stole my line.